Well, good morning, everyone. I am cleaning my glasses with a froggy throat and so happy you are here. First off, more importantly, how was your weekend? We had a horrible, horrible storm Saturday night, blew the back door open. OJ ran off, but then he came in, wringing wet, and of course, wanted food. We did a show about Nolan Wells, so please check that out because it's a horrible situation. And just leave me a comment and tell me what you think, or call me, Discord me, Facebook me, email me, however you want to do it. My goodness, two Boston moms said it went way too fast. For real, girlfriend, for real. And yesterday, we did a show on Next Topic with Rebecca Mikalo, talking about the harassment she's going through with Toddy. Your old buddy Brooks was cammed up with a baseball cap on backward, and then things kind of went downhill from there. But that's a different channel, different topic, and that is it. What we're talking about today is the fact, and it is a fact, that Javea and Harmony Montgomery have very similar cases. Now, I am not saying that Javea's parents, hold on, I got to clear my throat. I am not saying that Javea's parents carried her around for a year or more. No. But when the sheriff's department, and there was many other law enforcement agencies that said she has been dead for quite a while. And I hate using that word when it comes to a child, but that's what was said. And the new documentation that is out said that the chemical compounding was done on June 8th. How long had she been dead until June 8th? How long? I guess we'll have to find out. Because we know on June 30th, that's when old girl went into labor and said her daughter was missing. She just saw her by the chicken coop. Her dad gave a sworn statement to the police. And by the way, I'm using these terms loosely. That he went to get cookies and suckers and Mad Dog and Swisher Sweets, Black and Milds, all that stuff. Oh no, when old girl went into labor, then they come up with a plan real quick. The barrel had residue of chemical compounds. And normally I don't like to cross cases, but I think you guys are going to pick up on the similarities. Let's take a second and tell everyone good morning. So glad our friends are back together. All right, as you know, I have a little bit of a crush on the sheriff of Aiken County. True story, I do. Because I love how he took the bull by the horns and he got to the bottom of it. Whether he had to call the FBI, SLED, hell, if it was up to him, he would call the National Guard. But we now know that some of her remains were found in the reservoir, which is also a drinking source. By the way, if you are out in the bushes, come say hi. Give us a like. We like you. You can like us. And don't forget to subscribe. And his statement saying, the smallest coffins are always the heaviest. That weighed with me big time.
There is a saying, the smallest coffins are the heaviest. In Fairfield County, this quiet stretch of water now carries that weight. You'd never know something horrific happened here. It's scenic and peaceful, but places don't have to look haunted to carry grief. Sometimes they look exactly like this. For days, this area was not quiet. It was blocked off as investigators from multiple agencies searched for the unthinkable. Now we learn they found it. The search crews might be gone, but what happened here will not wash away. Not for investigators, not for our community here, 2 hours away.
Could you imagine? That's a very popular fishing spot, camping spot, everything. And to know that her remains had chemical compounds on them and she was spilled into that reservoir. Hey, what's up, Bob? Absolutely disgusting. And it's like these people take a page out of the criminal above them, and they use their alibi or they use their excuses. They always do. Every time. Hey, Bob, what state are you in? It is horrific.
And not for anyone who knows Javea's name. Some of Javea's family members live right near that search area, walking distance. I met them Saturday as they came there looking for answers. Maybe now, as painful as those answers are, they have a peaceful place to grieve and a peaceful place to begin healing.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I just do not know if the community is going to get over it any time soon. Let's take a second and remember Javea.
Hi, baby. Hey.
What you want to say about the baby?
Hi, baby. Hey.
What you want to say about the baby?
Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. She knew she was going to have a sibling, and that was taken from her. That was taken from her, but the community remembers. They have so many balloons and cards and stuffed animals. Where they lived in that trailer in Aiken County, it came from 2 balloons around a mailbox to what you see here.
Javea Harris's home continues to grow. Your Sydney Palmer joining us from there today. Sydney, this has really impacted the entire community.
That's right, Dana. I mean, we were here around noon earlier today, and in the hour that we were here, we saw about 40 people come up to the house, drop off candles, stuffed animals, balloons, and things like that. And someone was actually here earlier who saw this memorial get started, and she said that it all started with one single teddy bear. And as you can see behind me, it's grown
Lots of pink. Lots of pink. Javea's favorite color. Another similarity is that pink is Harmony's favorite color. For sure. For sure. Now, let me ask you guys, if I should put a poll up, I will. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll while you watch this because, I mean, I want to see what people think. God, what's going on?
Exponentially since then. And we were watching people come up today that a lot of people cried. You know, people were just very sad. Some people were relieved that this 4-year-old girl, Javea Harris, is now put to rest. But one thing that was really consistent throughout all the community members that we talked to earlier was that they've just been really impressed with how the community has banded together during this time. What started with a single teddy bear.
I saw the lady on that first put the first teddy bear out, and I said, okay, that's something I can do.
Looks very different a week later.
Me and my son came out, put it, and the next day we came, it had grown so.
And while horrific things happened inside, the outside has become a place for the community to grieve.
Yeah, people out here that don't even know the baby. It's real sad. She's a beautiful baby.
Cry.
When I look at her, she reminds me of my daughter.
And above all, show love.
She reminds me of one of my best friend's daughters. And by the way, the poll is up. Tell me what you think. Because a local newspaper has said that the main prosecutor is seeking the death penalty. I don't know if it's on him or her, but it will be very telling. You know, they wanted to put Susan Smith to death. Okay? You remember that dirty bitch. And to this day, her ex-husband, David, said he wanted her put to death. But the jury just could not decide on that, her being a woman. That's why I'm wondering who's going to get the DP. All right, I'm going to drop the link and see if anybody wants to come up because this is a lot to take in. And we haven't even gotten to all the similarities because there's a lot between Harmony and Javea.
And it's brought us together, and it's shown us that no matter what, all us feel and love the same.
And that love is in Shiloh Heights.
You have people coming in, you see them buying things, buying candy, little toys. Of course, it's the talk of the town, so everybody's talking about it.
And beyond.
Everybody coming together, hard, Facebook. This has gotten big. This has touched so many hearts. And we've got to believe this is what, I mean, it's hard to say, but for some kind of reason, we've got
together. So no one forgets the name Javea Harris.
And we've got to believe this is what, I mean, it's hard to say, but for some kind of reason, we've got to take something out of this. And all we can take is love.
That's all you can take out of anything is whatever positivity you can get and love. In situations like this, I don't know. I'm waiting for the state of South Carolina to put some EPA charges on them because they dumped, and I'm trying to be kind about this, actually poured her body into the reservoir. Well, who does that remind you of? Let's go back in time a little bit. Harmony Montgomery. After buying all those chemical compounds and trying to get her to dissolve, guess what Adam did? He went and got a saw, cut her up, put her into a maternity bag, and where she is now, I don't know. Big difference between reservoir water and ocean water. Open Mind said they won't give the woman the death penalty in South Carolina. The last two chances they had was Lori Vallow and Corey Richens, and blew it. Well, Lori Vallow's not from South Carolina, and neither is Corey Richens. So I don't understand the comparison. Are you saying that because of Lori Vallow and Corey Richens, that South Carolina won't try to put her to death? I don't know. There's women on death row in Oklahoma. There's quite a few in Florida and Texas. So I don't know. I mean, every state has different things. All right, so now we get to this. The parents face new charges for the chemical compounding, the hidden homicide. Of course, we know the fake police report, and we know that they're only trying to save their own ass. They have no remorse.
You know, yesterday morning, if you're watching our show, we brought you a live news conference just over the border in Aiken, South Carolina, where we heard from the sheriff discussing how they found the remains of a missing 4-year-old girl, Javea Harris. He said it was the most horrific case he's seen in his 37 years on the job. Part of her body was found to be dissolved by chemicals and poured into a lake. And charged in this case, her parents.
Stuffed her in a barrel, put chemical compounds on her, which, by the way, is not something that you can do easily. So I would like to know how many times they made a trip to the Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever. And I would love to know what chemicals they were using. Best they don't tell that, because there's always some other weirdo around the block that will do the same thing. True story. They will. They always take a page. Adam Montgomery did the exact same thing. Yep. Chemicals, cut Harmony up, threw her in the ocean. She's out there somewhere, and it's a big difference between searching a pond, searching a lake, a reservoir, or the freaking Atlantic Ocean. Ooh, MJ said, I live near a death row prison. My goodness. My goodness. You know, the state of Alabama has 3 women right now awaiting BP. True story. True story.
An additional charge of desecration of human remains was added to both of their list of charges. As you're looking at video of the parents at their separate bond hearings yesterday, that new charge carries a 10-year maximum sentence if convicted, which, I mean, let's be honest, is nothing compared to what they could be looking at when you consider their other charges, including homicide by child abuse. They've already been denied bond for those offenses. The girl's mom, you see here, also charged with filing a false police report. Both of the parents have a court date in August and October of this year, so plenty more to come. But let's get to Mike White now, bringing us up to speed.
In my 37-year career in law enforcement, I have never, ever heard of anything so horrific.
The search for 4-year-old Javea Harris's body taking another heartbreaking turn of.
Yeah, I've got a crush on the sheriff. So 4% of you said that you don't want them put to death. My question is, and I'm not arguing with you, I'm just curious. Just curious. Why do you not want the state of South Carolina to put them to death? More than likely, it's just going to be him. Okay? It is very hard to convince a jury to execute a woman. I don't know why. I personally would have no problem with it, but I'm not the only juror, okay? You got 12 that have to decide. Boy, I'll tell you what, Rachel's large and in charge today. I say do the same thing to the parents. Enough is enough. Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd stuff both of them in a barrel and I'd just start slowly pouring on the shit to let them melt away and then dump them somewhere. But no, I am curious, and I'm not upset. I'm not doing anything for argument's sake. Like, why would you not want the fullest amount of justice to be served against these two? I mean, is it a religious thing? Is it a they could be innocent thing? Because, I mean, I know a lot of people that are against the death penalty, they say because they could be innocent.
Events. Sheriff Marty Sawyer announcing Thursday, authorities found some of the little girl's remains at Cedar Creek Reservoir in Fairfield County.
I got 5, so it makes me just, I can't even let them go outside by themselves, you know. I have to watch them every minute on that.
According to authorities, Javea's parents went to great lengths to destroy Javea's remains, including pouring chemicals on her body. After that, the sheriff says the parents poured the rest of the remains into Cedar Creek Reservoir. Authorities say it is very doubtful they will find the rest of Javea's remains.
I will not refer to them as mom and dad, or mother or father. Amen. They don't deserve that title.
The parents now.
Is he married? Asking for a friend named Uli, because you know I'm married. Just curious, because I know a lot of you girls have a little crush on him. Speaking of crushes, Uli's not going to be very active in here today because she's waiting on Troy the plumber, okay? And we know how that goes. You basically have to be GQ or some sort of like Victoria's Secret model to work for her, okay? So she's waiting on Troy the plumber to take care of her spigot head for her sprinkler system. Now, that's code words if I've ever heard them. Now, you all tell me, do you have anyone that works for you that looks like these people? Uli said he is here now working on her spigot head. Okay, I have a feeling she won't be able to answer the phone for a few days. My goodness, Laura.
Face new additional charges in the case: destruction and desecration of human remains. Rita Andrews works at the Ridgecrest Quick Shop nearby and tells Watch Fox News Javea's father stopped in last week, the day before he was arrested.
He laid in my chest and cried Thursday, right here in the store. I didn't know who it was I was talking to. I was entertaining the devil and didn't even know it.
After Thursday's updates, people continuing to pay their respects to Harris at a memorial outside of her home. Prayer circles forming around the memorial and more balloons and stuffed animals being laid out.
She's not only a child, she's a child from God, and he has her in his arms, and she's not going to hurt anymore.
Man, what more can you say? Mike White.
Nope. No child should hurt in the first place. And the only reason old boy is crying is because he knows he's going to prison, and he knows once he gets an attorney, which will be decided now in August, because it got bumped from September back to August. At first, they said, you're not going to see anyone until September. Then they started talking like a damn parakeet. All the time. I mean, they want to talk to anyone they could. I don't care if it was the guy mopping outside the cell. I don't care who it was. They were ready to talk. What I'm waiting on is, when are they going to turn on each other? Because this is disgusting to say, pouring remains into the lake, which is atrocious, heinous, disgusting, immoral, carries a lot less legal weight than the actual crime of murder and hiding it for so long. Because trust me, old boy wasn't around to know what was going on. He had another girlfriend across town. It's time. I don't care if you piss standing up like Candace Wells, or you piss sitting down like Dawn Wells. My goodness. You want the death penalty? It does not matter someone's gender. You dish it out. All right, let's take a second to remember Harmy Montgomery, and I'm going to go through the similarities in the cases. I'm telling you, there's got to be something at the library that these people check out.
I did.
Hey, keep.
Harmony is a case that has just broken us all forever and a day. And when I heard about how Javea had been, I'll say, passed away for a very long time, a day is a long time in my opinion, but for over a month. And then I'm reading the court documentation that says the chemicals were bought on June 8th, and she was put into a barrel, and they basically were trying to chemically compound her to hide her homicide. Well, so did Harmy Montgomery's father, if you want to call him that. But Teardrop did the exact same thing. I cannot stand these people. They drive me insane. You're better off getting your child help because you snapped about something, as opposed to continuing what you were doing to cover for yourself, because you're not going to get away with it. It might take years, but you're just not going to get away with it. All right, I've got to put up the warning. Not that any of you need it.
I'm appealing to everyone. It's a 7-year-old girl. Let's find her.
Day one, we stepped into a cold case. Harmony hadn't been seen in 2 years.
All right. Anytime you see a similarity, please put it in chat, because law enforcement in South Carolina also stepped into a cold case. If someone has been missing, particularly a child, for a month or so, I think it's a lot longer than that, but we will find out when we find out, it is a cold case, because it's almost impossible to figure out what happened.
Anything, like, if you thought you saw her, tell the police.
Did you believe she was still alive? And for those that are new to the Harmony Montgomery case, pay zero attention to her mother, Crystal Meth Sorry. She is disgusting. She didn't care about her daughter, wasn't wanting to see her daughter. She was doing nothing but chasing pogo sticks and rugs.
I did.
Hey, keep your hands where I can see them.
When the affidavit was made public, I remember telling people, think carefully before you read that, because there will be things you read in there that you will wish you hadn't read.
He folded her in half and put her in the double bag
and wrapped in a trash bag and hidden in a ceiling vent.
I mean, she's just a little girl. How can anybody do that to a little girl?
This Duck Lady said, kids don't just go poof. And kids also don't have lime and chemicals put on them to dissolve their bodies when they're in your way. That makes zero sense to me. Now, here's another similarity. You have Adam Teardrop, who murdered, according to the state of New Hampshire, Harmony. Her so-called stepmother, who covered up for him. So in this case, who is the murderer as far as Javea, and who's the person covering up? And what on God's green earth would make you cover up for someone that did something so atrocious and heinous? I don't know.
Case setting off a firestorm of questions and criticism about how child protection is conducted.
Why a judge would have placed Harmony in the custody of this monster. I love my daughter unconditionally, and I did not kill her.
I don't want people to think that.
Okay, Crystal Sorry is an idiot. Adam saying, I love my daughter unconditionally and I did not do this. Well, you did. You did, dude. Okay, the forensics are out of the car. The people at Burger King already know that you and Step Meth wanted to go back through because you were pissed off you didn't have enough ketchup. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is the comment of the day. Like Harmony, Javea's unborn sister brought this on, just like Harmony's little brother. I am so in love with this comment. The only difference that I know of right now is there was actually people asking about Javea. Nobody ever asked about Harmony, according to what we've read. I'm sure somebody did. I'm sure someone did.
It's over because it's not over.
How could the system break down this much?
All right, I'm going to get myself in trouble again. Here I go. Here I go. The system is home. The system is family. When the family unit breaks down, you can't expect the government to do better than two parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. You can't expect a CPS worker to do better than a nuclear family. The system that breaks down is the family. See, these people are too immature to have a child, and they expect a CPS worker to show up and tell them how to live their lives.
I'm trying my hardest to have it be a happy day. We're doing a double birthday. It's my 2-year-old niece's birthday. Harmony was so kind. She wouldn't have cared, She would have loved that. She's sharing her birthday party with her 2-year-old cousin. She would have loved that, She needs to be with me. She needs to be home with me, with her family. And we should be able to sprinkle her like glitter, the glitter that she was, wherever we feel like she would want to go. She's still waiting for us to look for her.
Then what are you doing on the slip and slide, Crystal? She's still waiting for us to look for her. Why didn't you look for her? Why have all your kids been taken from you? Seriously. Why have all of your children been taken from you or adopted to other families? That is crazy. That is crazy business.
We need assistance. We need help. We need to find this little girl.
Police are very concerned about this situation. They don't know where the little girl is, and they're turning to the public in hopes that someone can help.
New Year's Eve 2021, the newsroom received a notice for a missing little girl in Manchester. Now, typically, when police are looking for a missing person, they'll send a press release and we'll put it out on the air. But in this case, the police department was inviting everyone to this press conference. We had television, radio, print. And so you really got a sense of urgency to find this child.
I'll go as far as I'm begging the community. I don't care if you saw this young girl a year ago and you think it's irrelevant. Call us.
Investigators are releasing these photos taken when Harmony was approximately 5 years old. At the time of her disappearance, she had blondish hair. She has blue eyes and is blind in her right eye, so police say she should be wearing glasses.
Quite frankly, enough.
All right, here's another similarity between Javea and Harmony. You see, Cookie, that's what I call Javea's mom, she was really jonesing for a disability for Javea. She kept trying to act like she had autism. She wanted that check. Okay? Harmony had a big check, a big one, because she seriously has a sight problem. She is blind in one eye. She has corrective lenses, to which I don't think they were taking her to the optometrist like they were supposed to. She was fine in foster care, and that foster family loved her. Loved her. They wanted to adopt her. Blair Miller, who now works in Atlanta, who adopted her little brother Jameson, wanted to adopt her. Adam wanted her for the money. He didn't just want to get out of jail and roll out and be a daddy, mow the lawn, put up a swimming pool, put together a swing set. Oh, hell no. Crystal didn't want to be a mom. She might tell people that at the Dollar General, but she didn't want that. No.
Enough is enough. It's a 7-year-old girl. Let's find her.
Walked out of that press conference. I believe I said to the assistant chief at the time, I said, my hope is that within a half hour, people see this, we're going to get a phone call and somebody's going to say, hey, whoa, slow down, I have her. And then we would have a happy new year and drive on.
The information we had on day one was that Harmony hadn't been seen in plus or minus 2 years. So day one, we stepped into a cold case.
We were trying to make up for lost time and going off of information that was 2 years old. So you have to understand, like, the urgency now is the longer we go here, the more likely that she's not alive.
How does that happen? How does a little girl just vanish without anyone even knowing that she's gone? Harmony Montgomery was born in June.
How was Javea missing? For a month, probably plus, and nobody was asking about her. Nobody was asking for a picture, a FaceTime, a phone call. Hey, can we go and meet at the playground? Nobody. No, not one person. Is it because her grandparents had made peace with the fact that they knew something was wrong? Or because they did not want to upset Mad Dog and Cookie? I just have a very hard time believing that any grandparent doesn't care about their grandchild and doesn't want to know where they're at and what they're doing.
Of 2014 to Crystal Sorey and Adam Montgomery. The two parents had a rough upbringing. They're both products of the child welfare system. And in fact, Adam was incarcerated when Harmony was born. And it was right around this time that Crystal Sorey was also struggling with substance abuse.
Harmony was taken into custody within several months of her birth because her mother had relapsed and was not able to properly take care of her. She was placed in foster care.
Just, I would fight for her, and I would be doing good 8 months to a year. And like, I went into program after program, class after class, and then boom, I would relapse and they would take her.
Okay, Crystal's an idiot. Just get ready for that. She's a perpetual victim, okay? It's always that she couldn't control herself. It's always that way. Program after program, I'm doing the best I can. What about that little beautiful face wouldn't make you do better? I don't know. I guess I'm wired different.
She was a loving child. She was very sweet, very happy. She was super social. She loved to be with people.
There was never a dull moment with her. She was always trying to befriend somebody or try to make them feel better.
She was blind in one eye. She kind of, I think, surprised people. She kind of adjusted to her visual impairments. She was a little girl who everyone felt was going to be able to move on to a full life.
In 2019, a Massachusetts family court judge held a hearing after Adam indicated that he wanted custody of his daughter, despite the fact that he had a criminal history.
Harmony had spent almost her entire life in foster care. In Harmony's case, really, the move should have been toward.
Thank you, Tropicana. I am so sick of the addiction excuses. I'm sick of it all. Did anyone grow up with a parent that smoked cigarettes, had to take pain pills, drank? We did not hear about these things when I was growing up. We just didn't. But now there is an excuse for everything.
find your daughter. And in fact, it's been 2 years since anybody has seen her. I imagine I would say, what can I do? How can I help find her? What do you know? And none of that from Adam.
You keep locking up on us. You don't want to tell us anything about her. I got nothing else to say.
That moment told me that he knew what had happened to her and that we weren't going to find her alive. The first thing you do in almost any investigation is you start talking to people. You try and find witnesses. You try and find people who know what might have happened.
We happened upon Kayla, who was Harmony's stepmother and was living at a family shelter at the time.
After Adam was with Crystal Sorey, Kayla and Adam got married and had 3 children of their own. And police had information that Kayla was living with Adam when Harmony went missing.
Oh my gosh. She thinks she is something else. Old step meth. She is. And by the way, I'm not judging. I don't care who wants to go outside and smoke a ciggy. I don't care who wants to go to the lake and drink 1 beer or 30. I do not care. But when you pick that over accountability to human nature, which is your life, as in, your house is somewhat clean, your kids have clean clothes, everything's working in your home, yeah, there's a problem. And Kayla is a real POS. And for those of you that don't know about Harmony's case, we have a whole playlist, and I can tell you, it's disgusting. And they were handing out proffer agreements like they were M&Ms on Halloween to get all of these scumbags to talk. Then you get people going, you shouldn't do that. You just put them in a room and make them talk. Just make them talk. You can't do that. They have to speak their truth. And every time a criminal takes the stand, it's because they have gotten some kind of deal.
She was under arrest, and while we were booking her, she indicated to me, she's like, I want to tell you what happened. I need you to get my attorney here. You have this idea in your mind of what happened and how it happened. I wasn't prepared to hear what I heard that day.
I remember her just breaking down. She took us through the whole thing, from the background to the murder to the various moves of the body.
I remember hearing a knock at the door. Sounded like a cop knock, And they sat me down and they told me that she was deceased.
I'm beyond saddened that we stand here today to announce that the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery is now officially a homicide investigation.
When the affidavit for the...
And we heard the same thing with Javea. This is now a homicide investigation, and her parents have been arrested. What they didn't know is that they put her in a barrel and they put all kinds of chemicals on her, but they didn't remember things like teeth, certain bones. So how long exactly did they let her tiny little body, Javea's, cook in that barrel? I would love to know, and it will come out, because they're going to have all kinds of chemists. They're going to have all kinds of forensics going through this, and they're going to say exactly when this happened. They can tell all types of things. Way above my pay grade.
The homicide charge was going to be unsealed and made public. I remember telling many people, think carefully before you read that, because there will be things you read in there that you're not going to be able to forget and that you will wish you hadn't read.
from car to car, then in a cooler kept in a common hallway of the building where Kayla's mother lived, in a storage bin transported by stroller to a family's in transition apartment, then wrapped in a trash bag and hidden in a ceiling vent until neighbors complained of the smell.
Before Kayla, we didn't really have physical evidence of anything, but she gave us a lot of locations where there was potentially going to be physical evidence. The ceiling of the fit shelter.
Yeah, but I mean, Kayla also perjured herself many times. She said she claimed to work somewhere where she didn't work. And that's going to be the problem with Adam's new trial. I'm not going to worry about it because these people are a lot smarter than me. Okay? I would not be a good prosecutor because I would just sit there and go, they did it. 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 I would put everything out. I wouldn't save anything for an appeal, but that's why I'm not one. That's okay. And I want to know, how long was Javea really deceased and where was she kept until they got the bright idea to put her in the barrel and put these chemicals on her? Because trust me, Mad Dog is slow as molasses in January. How often was he contacting Cookie to say, how's Javea? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Who knows what he was told? But someone was Satan's secretary and decided that would be a really good idea to cover it up as opposed to talking. And like I said, he is so damn simple. He probably thought, well, since she's pregnant with another one of my babies, then I won't ask her what that stink is from beneath the trailer. Karma. Yes. Yes, Javea's uncle did. Why was my niece not included in that day? You're right.
The drains and pipes and other areas in the Union Street apartment.
The brutality of this death is so shocking. He had her remains in a stroller with his wife pushing the stroller. I mean, the sheer, I don't know the word to use, because it's such an obscene thing.
Right now, testimony is underway in the murder trial of Adam Montgomery, accused of killing his daughter Harmony.
Adam Montgomery's wife, Kayla, became the star witness for the prosecution during his trial. She was with Adam when he...
Summer Bailey said, wait, so she was under the trailer? This story gets worse and worse every time I review it. I am just making the assumption that she could have been put under there. And the reason is because there's so many similarities. Do you all remember the Evelyn Boswell case where they were digging underneath her mom's trailer? And we now know her mom kept moving little tiny Evelyn around and finally stuffed her into a trash can, head down, and had aluminum foil around her, thinking it would control the smell. Yeah. These people are fucking nasty. Because she's not going to kill her on June 8th and call up Mad Dog and say, hey, we got to get a barrel and some chemicals and we're going to do this. And then and dissolve her and then dump her out. No. No. She had been gone for quite a while before. Piss on these people.
Murdered his daughter.
Adam was getting really angry from Harmony peeing in the car.
What happened when she had that accident?
Adam repetitively kept punching her in the head. He said he thinks that he really hurt her. He like folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
I've covered a lot of murder cases throughout my career, but when we obtained information about Harmony's murder, the gruesome details surrounding her death really made your stomach turn.
How she was moved and manipulated and brought to all these different places. Adam Montgomery he's a different type of human being. And by that, I don't mean it in a good way.
I loved my daughter unconditionally, and I did not kill her.
How could the system break down this much?
This case setting off a firestorm of questions and criticism about how child protection is conducted here in New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Why a judge would have placed Harmony in the custody of this monster.
The urgent search for Harmony did not begin until 2 years after she disappeared.
We're going to look internally and take all ownership of any ways we could have done something better. But, you have a group of individuals, this family that was transient, and that's really where the system needs to be the most robust. Clearly, the system failed somewhere along the line.
The system is the family. That's it. That's it. We're not talking about a little girl that was orphaned and she had to go to CPS because there was no other relatives. The system is the family, mom and dad. That's it. And that judge, I'm telling you right now, he should be off the bench. Getting really tired of these judges continuing to recycle their bad judgment. And they do. They do not care. They do not care.
Judgment Day in New Hampshire, nearly 5 years after the killing of Harmony Montgomery in Manchester. Her body still missing.
The little girl's own father charged and convicted for her murder.
To the monster who murdered my baby. The night you beat her to death, I woke up in the middle of the night in agonizing pain. From my head to my toes, and I felt like I was dying.
That's how much Harmony's mother knows about the case. Harmony was not beaten overnight. This was on the way to Burger King to get breakfast. He gave 3 punches to Harmony in the head. Said to Kayla, "I think I did something this time." She was moaning. She was wheezing. Her life was leaving her. They put her in an Under Armour bag and then complained they didn't have enough ketchup for their tater rounds.
Not knowing, in the most brutal way, a part of me was dying.
We shared our hearts, our home, and our life with her, and she filled our lives with joy and laughter. We lost a daughter, and my children lost their sister.
Harmony's remains are still not recovered. Investigators refuse to give up.
You all right?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. The court piece is finally over, But I don't want people to think that it's over because it's not. It's not over. She's still out there and she's all alone,
It's a horrible, horrible case.
I don't know why this woman irritates me to the ends of the earth. She's out there and she's all alone. She's been all alone since you lost custody of her and her brother Jameson. That's exactly. She has been alone on earth. You see, she's not alone anymore. She's in heaven. She's with Jesus. And if you're lucky, she might be your guardian angel because you failed her, and you failed her horribly.
We'll keep working hard to do our part to locate Harmony and bring her home. Mr. Montgomery had yet another opportunity to do one decent, good thing in his life. And again, he passed that up.
I think there's a common belief out there in the public, need a body to make a murder case. I think Adam felt like he was still going to be safe if nobody could ever find the body.
Okay, there is a bit of a silver lining to what's going on with the appellate court in New Hampshire. They have overturned his second-degree murder conviction. So he's already got like 30 years on gun charges. He's got 56 years to life for second-degree murder. However, the case is still open. There's still a reward for Harmony. And true story, true facts, when he goes back to trial in 2027, 2028, they might be able to charge him with first-degree murder. Now, New Hampshire does not use the death penalty. They don't. But South Carolina does, and that's what they're looking to do. Good morning, Annette. The similarities are way, way too much. And I tell you what, Cookie and Mad Dog have got the balls of a burglar to even walk their happy asses into court and ask for a lawyer and bond. That judge told them both, you are a danger to society. You are a danger. You're a flight risk. I'm not doing it. And trust me, the judge has seen everything. He's not the attorney. He's not prosecuting. He's not defending. He's there to call balls and strikes. That's it. But he flat out said, no. However, they did change their court date. I guess they're going to court in August.
Hours after the Aiken County Sheriff's Office says they found her remains, her parents are back in court, and now we know they'll stay in jail. We know that when we were there, as Michelle Herring and Jamaria Harris were both denied bond for additional charges of destruction and desecration of human remains.
And those charges are connected to the latest developments in Javea's case, but we do want to warn you, these details are very graphic. Sheriff Marty Sawyer alleges that Michelle Herring and Jamaria Harris dissolved their daughter's body with chemicals and poured her remains into a reservoir in the upstate of South Carolina. DNA testing confirmed this. The two were charged with homicide by child abuse late last week. Both were denied bond on those offenses as well. And tonight, our community's grief is on full display outside her Aiken County home, where you're
They each have the same charges. But the desecration to their daughter's body, trust me, there was no murder and chemical compounding done in one day. I don't know who said what to who, but I'm starting to get some Jack and Lily vibes. Okay? We know that Canada is totally different than us. Okay? There are certain things that they can investigate and certain things that they can't. I don't even think that anyone knew what happened. But I do know with Jack and Lily, there was a lot of water going on. And I know where it goes, according to them. and they were super busy. I don't care what people say. We saw the kids on CCTV. Do you know that was Jack and Lily? I don't think you do. Nope, I don't think you do. They always take a page out of someone else's notebook every time.
Sydney Hood joins us live. Sydney, walk us through what you're seeing out there and hearing from people trying to cope with this terrible news.
Well, the sheriff put it best himself when he told us today that even in the face of tragedy, union, compassion, and service remain stronger than the darkness this community has faced. And all day long, people have needed a place to grieve, and they have found that here at the memorial in front of Javea's house. This memorial has been growing by the day since it was first started on Sunday. This started as just a small memorial with one stuffed.
MJ, what's going on? Monsoon upon us, lake postponed. Where are you, girlfriend? I must know right now. And I'm putting down the link if anybody wants to come up and talk about the similarities you see with other cases. Sunflower, you are so right. There are so many couples that wish and pray to even have a baby. And here are these people, spit them out like microwave popcorn. Look at that crazy bitch in Ohio. She's been pregnant for 18 years. Oh, well, that's totally different, MJ. Oh my gosh. If you get a hard rainstorm in the desert, ooh, it'll take your damn house away. You better be careful, MJ. Let me know how it's going.
Animal and a couple of flowers, and you can see how it's just grown so much with the amount of stuffed animals, flowers, balloons. Some of these balloons have the number 4 on it to show that Javea will forever be 4 years old. I mean, it's incredibly moving to watch the sheer amount of people who have come out here today after Sheriff Sawyer shared that news with us. Like I said, people have needed to come out here and grieve a little bit because they feel as though Javea is a part of them now, and she's certainly forever in the hearts of this community. I want to go over a couple more of the details from Sheriff Sawyer today. And again, we want to warn you that some of these details may be triggering. So if you need to take some time to leave or turn off the TV, go ahead and do so now. But
all right, question really quick. Are you seeing similarities between Harmony's case and Javea's case? Or what other cases are you seeing similarities? Because I'm actually seeing some with Summer Wells. Because since we're hearing about barrels and chemicals quite a bit, and she cannot be found, and you also know that Mad Dog said that people had been snooping around their property, and her so-called mother said that she said, we don't talk to anyone around here because they're all on drugs. That's exactly what Don Wells said.
Sheriff Sawyer started his news conference off today with some strong words, saying that he was not going to refer to Javea's parents as mother and father because he said that they, quote, did not deserve those titles. He said that human remains recovered from the Cedar Creek Reservoir, also known as Stumpy Pond in Fairfield County, had DNA consistent with the biological child of Jamaria Harris and Michaela Herring. Sheriff Sawyer says investigators uncovered what he described as extensive aggressive and deliberate efforts to destroy and conceal evidence after 4-year-old Javea Harris died. According to the sheriff, corrosive chemicals and other tools were used to accelerate the destruction of her body. He says whatever remained was then, quote, poured into the reservoir.
So after they put the chemicals on her in that barrel, they poured her into the reservoir. I'm telling you, they each color in the same coloring book. They always come up with some cockamamie story. Every damn time. And then the parents that are literally missing their children get little to no help. You know why? Because they're investigating the parents. That's what they do every time. And they lose a lot of time trying to figure out who, what, when, and where. And then they realize this is going nowhere. This child's been abducted. Elizabeth Smart, J.C. Dugard, Michael Vaughn, Sean Hornbeck. May I go on and on? Ilyanka said, I'm going to say more like Evelyn. Lily and Jack is like Summer 2.0. I swear they study each other. And what are you doing? She's making it rain. Ooh, what to do? It's raining Mims. Hallelujah, it's raining Mims. Turn on your gifts. You'll never know when you get one.
And because of that, the sheriff says it is now unlikely that Javea's body or any additional remains will ever be recovered. He called this one of the most difficult, deeply disturbing, and emotionally taxing investigations his office has ever worked. Sheriff Sawyer said that in his 37 years in law enforcement, he has never heard of anything so horrific.
Personally,
all right, if you want a membership, there is the join button right there. It is $2 per month, and you will love our members' lives.
there's some very harsh words that I would like to use about Jamaria and Michaela and their actions. But I will not do that. And I will not do that to protect and maintain the integrity of this case. But I will tell you this. I will not refer to them as mom and dad or mother or father. They don't deserve that title.
I love that, Sheriff. I do. And when everyone was clapping and saying, amen, amen, I am not going to refer to them as mom, dad, or parents.
And Sheriff Sawyer says that while today marks a painful
murder case, today the judge this is a felony charge for destruction or desecration of human remains. The judge in both of the hearings this afternoon saying that they believe
they have dead eyes, dead eyes. Karma Libra said, best way to spend 8 quarters unless you're Candace Wells. Oh my gosh. You know, she gets those quarters. They look like they're rolled up from the bank when she goes to do coin pusher. Man, I miss Candace. She's been quiet for way too long. She makes my world turn.
that Jamaria Harris and Michaela Herring were flight risk and a threat and danger to their community. Their bond denied. This will keep them in jail. They do have court appearances coming up in the next month. 2 court dates now set in this case for both of them. Interestingly enough, Jamaria Harris saying to the judge today he did not need a public defender. He's already gotten a lawyer. We did learn in Warrens today that they believe June 8th,
Yep, they do. They believe June 8th is when all the chemicals were bought and she was put in that barrel. They have not said when they believe she was actually off the planet, if you know what I mean. Laura, tell Troy the plumber to subscribe. He would love to hear us talking about him. And also ask him how he can show us his back muscles because they are very spectacular. So they have nothing but dead eyes. She's still waiting on an attorney. Now, Mad Dog's mom got him a private attorney. This is when you see them turning against each other. I am not taking up for him at all. I just don't know how anyone could put a bunch of chemical compounds, lye and things like that. Yeah. For all I know, he might have thought it was an animal in there. I don't know. But he is dumb as a box of rocks. Well, he's not that dumb because he made up an entire alibi for himself.
weeks and a day before that 911 call was when little Javea Harris died. A head injury, according to warrants. The parents both accused of not calling 911 or seeking aid. Instead, now this charge and the details of it, certainly disturbing, accused this mother and this father of using a chemical to dilute and destroy that little 4-year-old's remains. They took him to that reservoir, as you heard Cindy say there, and the sheriff said, poured into the water. DNA testing able to confirm that the remains they found there are those of Javea Harris. You see their mugshots there on the.
Now, in some of the Harmony Montgomery groups, they're like, why didn't they do the same thing for Harmony? Because there's a big difference between the Atlantic Ocean and a reservoir, also known as a lake, totally different. Someone obviously said that's where we poured her. And when I read that in the documents, they poured her out. This didn't happen on June 8th. This happened way before.
Screen again, making a court appearance again this afternoon, now in jail, no bond in this case, being called a threat to the community and a flight risk.
Brett, thank you for that. And the search for little Javea stretched all the way to the upstate. The sheriff said today her remains were found in Fairfield County.
And your Meredith Anderson spent time up there this week.
Investigators, not for our community here, 2 hours away, and not for anyone who knows Javea's name.
Hold on. Where is Jules? Jules is messaging me about Clemson football, that they're going to take our head football coach back. Oh, always messing with me. I'm going to go ahead and say you can have him back because he hasn't done anything for Oklahoma University.
Yeah, and for some time that it was really unclear what exactly they were searching for up there in the Fairfield County area. Now, of course, after that press conference this morning, we know why they were looking there, and it's so tragic to hear how all of this happened too.
And now we're getting information on when Javea was believed to have died, which is almost a month later.
Yeah,
We're
June 8th, correct?
June 8th, and today we're July 9th. So it's heartbreaking, and it goes back to just all of the details we've uncovered in this little over a week now since she was first reported missing.
So even after today's devastating news, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office tells us the tip line is still open in Javea's case. They're asking anyone who knows anything about this case or her parents to contact them.
And if you have doorbell or video camera footage from around that area you think could help in the case, there is a submission page for that too. This QR code on your screen will take you straight to it. Both are on your screen right now. We have the information online on WRDW.com too.
And I think another thing that
there to hear Sheriff Marty Sawyer. I heard a lot of them before he even came up, right? Just saying thank you to all the deputies for all of the work and the search efforts that they've been doing, certainly taking a toll on them too, as well as the community.
Yeah, you couldn't see them on camera. They were a little off to the right of the podium, but there were several of them that just continued to film. A lot of people on the sidewalk outside the sheriff's office too. And that parking lot is 99% empty most of the time, every time I've been up there. And you just saw the cars flood that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the question is, now we know why Harmony was moved around, because Adam gave her 3 blows to the head, put her in an Under Armour bag, and they knew they would have to move her around. Why was June 8th the magical day? How long did her mom, also known as Cookie, because I'm not going to insult anyone with the same name as her, hide her? Why was there a call in Aiken County about a smell? Who bought the chemicals? Who killed her? Who poured her remains into the reservoir? We already know in Harmony's case, Adam did all the above and Kayla did nothing. Kayla did nothing. She just sat back and just watched everything happen because she just wanted her next round of happiness. That's it. That's it. That's how Kayla is. Kayla is a very, very, very selfish person. And if it's not her child, she does not care. That's how she is. But in the case of Javea, these are her actual parents. And I believe they moved her around. And I think once the calls started coming in about a very strange smell, she knew she had to do something. I could be wrong, but I can tell you right now, I have never, ever called the police to say I smell something. No. Well, you guys are the best, and we will be back here tomorrow morning. And we have a lot of shows this week, so buckle up, Buttercup. We have a ton of stuff going on. We have the best mods. We have the best crew. We have the best friends. We got it all going on right here. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow morning or maybe later this afternoon. Love you.